All right, guys. So let me just get back to the topic that we're discussing, the topic of friction. I discussed multiple ideas yesterday, how to find the friction in every case, problems like this, and problem like this, where there's an inclined surface, angle of repose that I've discussed, and then what else? Yeah, even in these cases, the friction is up. The directions of frictions are really important, and where there is velocity and the block is coming to rest, kind of a problem, and then pulling and pushing. I clearly asked you to people to find the value of friction in pulling and pushing. Some people actually sent me the right answers. That is a good thing. Okay, in pushing, what happens is like in both the cases, friction is mu n only. But in one case, the normal force becomes along with the weight, there will be F sine theta additional. Wait a second. Did I take the angle? Yeah. Like if this angle is theta, this vertical component will be F sine theta, right? So there will be additionally F sine theta acting. So the friction force is very high in this case. In this case, the
Good
force.
morning, sir.
Who is that?
Aniket, sir.
Aniket, come on. You're late again. So
I
because
did
of
homework, sir.
fine. Because of this, the friction is more here, the friction is less here. So we people just use this as a notation, saying pushing is difficult. Whenever you push a block, it gets difficult, but whenever you pull a block, it gets easier to slide it on a surface. Okay, that is another model or an idea that you need to understand. Now, let me just take you to some more models, some more ideas. The topic is over, like I mentioned already. The main idea of the topic is completely over. As long as you understand the directions of friction and the magnitude of friction, once you understand that bit, almost the problem is over. But let's just look at the whole situation. Now, in this problem, there are situations like where you press a block against the wall to keep it at rest. You press a block against the wall to keep it at rest. Like there's a wall and you're trying to press it against the wall to keep it at rest. Now, who's exactly causing it to balance the weight of the block? There is weight of the block also, right? The weight is vertically downwards. So who's balancing the weight? Can anybody tell me that?
There's friction, sir.
Exactly. So there will be friction acting vertically upwards from the wall. Now, to have this friction, there must be some normal force in the first place. Who is providing the normal force? The wall is providing the normal force because you are pushing it against the wall. So this normal force equals to this force that you can write, and friction equals to mu n. Mu n is nothing but mu capital F. So the mg must be balanced by the weight of the body must be balanced by mu f. That is how it is done. Okay, there are problems where they ask you how much of force must be required to what do you say to put the block at rest. Okay, that is a thing. There is a question in HC Verma where
So we'll need more force than the mg, right?
we never know. Wait a second. Yeah, is that what you mean? Right.
Much more force, sir,
Equals to
because mu
mu f.
is
Since mu is less than 1, yeah,
yes,
of
sir.
course you need more force more than mg definitely to keep the block at rest. Yes, that's a good idea. There's a question in HC Verma where a man tries to put himself in between two walls like this. Okay. Now all you got to do is just like his weight must be balanced by the friction from both the ends, from both the sides, F1 and F2. Okay, if only he mentioned the values of N1 and N2. Now, first of all, the normal force from both the walls must be equal. Otherwise, there will be a net force acting on a horizontal direction. So I would just call them as N and N. That's it. I would just call them as normal force and normal force. That's it. Both the four values are nothing but normal forces only. Because of that, you get friction 1 and then friction 2. If the mu values are also same, the friction is also same. So all you have to do is balance the weight by the frictional forces. Okay, this is one more idea to discuss, and there is one more interesting idea. Okay, so he says I'm going to draw a 3D diagram here. Let us just look at it. A block is being pressed against the wall. This is the wall, and block is being pressed against the wall. And we can clearly find the force, right? Like we can happily find the force, how the force required for the block, for the block to be at rest, because we have mg acting downwards and there is friction acting upwards. So the friction will balance the weight and they will be at rest, that is for sure. But they ask, somebody asking what is this parallel force? Like if you put some parallel force, let us say the block is resting like this, I'm pushing it like this, right? Now somebody is putting a force like this in this direction. I hope you get the whole point. Like the block is at rest, I'm pushing it, I'm holding it against. Somebody's applied a force parallel to the wall like this, if you can see that, and try to move the wall. Let us call it as F1. How much is this force? How much is this force so that the block actually starts to slide horizontally? The block has to start sliding horizontally, right? So how much is that force?
More than the friction, sir.
Of course, but since the block is tending to slide in the opposite direction, the friction won't be in the upward direction anymore. This is a question that you need to understand and you need to discuss with me. I'm not going to discuss this thing. Just keep it in your mind, okay?
It's the same thing, right, sir?
Try to remember this as a homework question. No, it's not exactly the same thing. Because of this force, the block tries to move in this direction. So what happens to the friction? The friction will be in this direction. Oh, sorry. Will be acting in this direction. So that a part of the friction, some F cos theta will balance the weight and F sin theta will balance this horizontal force. Okay, that is how it happens. That is a thing. I mean, this is not a for sure problem in your exams or something like that. It's just an idea that you need to understand. So bring some discussions on that if you want to discuss. Okay.
So again, F1 value also we have to increase to keep the block there.
No, I'm asking what is the F1 value so that it moves.
No, so once it moves, the F value also we have to increase, right? Again, to keep the block there because the force will be reduced in that direction.
Why would it reduce?
You said right, sir. F cos theta.
No, this value will increase. First of all, everything changes, right? In that case, that is fine. Like just bring your discussions later, not right now. I'm just giving you a case. Whoever is in this class right now, just bring your discussions later to the class. Okay. I hope no one's actually asking me for the. Array Papa. Someone's asking if there is a class. I'll just upload it anyway at 11:30. The other idea that I need to discuss. What's this thing? Just wait for a second. Let me respond to these people. It will be uploaded at 11:30. All right. What was I saying? The next question that I wanted to discuss. There is a question in HC Verma where you need to understand one more idea. There is a man standing, let us say. There is a man standing, and friction coefficient between the man and the ground is mu, let us call it. No. When a man is trying to walk, who exactly is responsible for his forward movement? Can anybody tell me? Is friction supporting
the ground,
him?
sir. Yes, sir.
Is the
Yes.
friction supporting him or is the friction opposing him?
Supporting.
Exactly, because if the man is just sliding, then yeah, definitely the friction is opposing. But the man is not sliding; he's trying to pull his leg backwards. You can see me, right? He's trying to pull his leg backwards. Since his leg is trying to slide backwards, the friction kind of starts acting forward, and this friction is the reason which actually the man actually moves forward. All right. So if the man has to accelerate forward, the acceleration depends on the friction. The friction depends on mu n. The friction depends on mu n, right? Now, so the acceleration of the man clearly depends on the value of mu. That is an important thing. Okay. So let us say the mu value is really high. Mu value is 0.9. So mu into normal force mg, let us say, so 0.9 into mg is the force acting in the forward direction, which is causing the acceleration. So equal to mass into acceleration. Let's just cancel the mass, and you find the acceleration of the body as 0.9. The important thing is, if this mu value is, as long as like the mu value is between 0 and 1, it cannot be greater than 1. So the acceleration can never be greater than z. So no matter if you are the Superman, no matter your body strength is extremely strong, the muscle power that you can create from your body is extremely high. Even if it is extremely high, you still cannot accelerate with an acceleration more than g. That is an important thing. Just by using friction. No, Superman can fly. That's a different thing. That's a different theoretical thing, a fantasized thing. Okay, we're not going to discuss that. Let us say you're a person with extreme strength, and you can build extreme amount of forces in your bodies. Even in that case, just because of the contact force, Superman doesn't use contact force. Superman uses what? I don't know what kind of forces, some psychic forces. I don't know.
No, sir.
What?
Contact force, sir.
So
No, Superman can fly, right? If he's flying,
takes
he's not
a
using
leap.
the contact force.
He takes a leap, sir, before flying.
But how long can a person just fly, taking a leap? He can actually, like, the gravity is not. Why are we discussing about Superman? Shut up.
yes, sir.
I hate
Sir,
it.
I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
According to this equation, sir, everyone should be equally fast then, right? Because 0.9 is a constant.
Yeah, that is where the point is. Like, that is a very good observation. 0.9 into z is a constant. Like, so according to this, the acceleration for every person must be same. Right? That is the point. Like, that is what I was trying to say. Even though you're just Superman, as long as the normal force is just mg, as long as the normal force is just mg, no matter how strong how strong of a person you are, no matter how much mass that do you have, your acceleration will always be the same. Now that is an important point. If the accelerations of every person is same, why are people winning races in a running race? Can anybody tell me this? Why is anyone winning a race? Anyone?
The force applied on the ground of one person is greater than the other one, something like that.
What?
The nu of each person is different because of the force.
If the mu value is clearly depending on the type of ground and the type of shoe is wearing. So if some racer is winning the race, it's not the racer who's winning the race, it's the shoe company who made the shoes. Is that what you're saying?
No, sir.
Usain Bolt didn't win all those gold medals, right? Who makes the shoes for them? I think Puma, right? It's
Adidas,
Puma.
sir.
No, Puma.
The Puma.
Yeah, Puma is the one. Puma is the brand which actually makes shoes. Puma is actually winning all those races, right? Now, please tell me. That is the most important point here. This is a beautiful point. I didn't even plan to bring this up.
Every action has an equal and opposite
Yes, sir,
reaction.
Aniket.
Have a very good, Aniket. Congratulations. Yeah, what is it?
Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So
No. Observe. Try to observe what actually happens right at the beginning of a running race. What exactly happens right at the beginning of a running race? They don't just stand and start the running race. They all actually
push themselves.
Take a stance. Do you know the stance, right? They all of them actually they take a stand. I'll try to bring the stance as it is in my memory. Something like this, right? They actually try to take a stance, and they push themselves. In this process of pushing themselves, they're actually pushing themselves. Like, look at this acceleration. They're trying to push themselves in this direction, right? So there is some pushing force in this direction, and there is some pushing force in this direction also, which means a man is actually trying to push himself upward also. Which clearly says the man is actually accelerating upward. The center of mass of that man or a woman, whoever it is, so center of mass of that person is accelerating upwards, which clearly means the normal force and the mg are not equal here. Mg is acting downwards and normal force is acting upwards. The normal force must be greater than mg at that case, so that the body is actually accelerating upwards. So he needs to bring the maximum acceleration upwards, so that the normal force is maximum. Once the normal force is maximum, the friction is maximum. So when I write the equation, it is mu n equal to mass into acceleration only. But in the place of n, I don't put mg. I put mg plus something's definitely which is more than mg. So the mm cancels. The acceleration is clearly more. So as long as I can increase the normal force, the acceleration gets better. So it is all about the start, guys. In a running race, it is all about the start. The start must be so perfect. The start must be so perfect that you give yourself the right amount of acceleration vertically upwards that will give you the right amount of normal force also. And that will make the magic happen.
That
Beautiful
is so
idea?
difficult to understand, sir, because later we become slow.
What?
It is difficult to understand, sir, because later also we become slow, right, when we are tired.
No. The
Sometimes we
point
become
is like
tired and we
at every punch that he's giving on the ground, he's actually pushing himself. Like nobody actually just runs like this, right? Like everyone tries to bend their knees, push themselves, bend their knees and push themselves when they're running. No one's actually just running like putting straight feet. No one's actually just maintaining the center of mass like that. They're actually pushing them at each and every case. So that is the reason why the amount of normal force that you create. So the question that you have in H.C. Verma, he simply says, no matter if you're Superman, the acceleration is same. He's asking us to prove it. But if you are Superman, you can definitely create normal force which is more than Usain Bolt. And obviously you can accelerate more with more acceleration than Usain Bolt. That is an important point that you need to understand. I will show you the question. Wait a second. Look at the question number 15. The friction coefficient between an athlete's shoes and the ground is 0.9. Suppose a Superman wears these same shoes. There is no upper limit for his capacity of running at high speeds. The problem is find the minimum time that he'll take to complete and things like that. So no matter if he doesn't consider that normal force concept. Okay, he simply considers that the friction is just mu mg. So the acceleration is just mu g. He just considers that and does the problem. But I don't agree with that idea. Okay, you need to understand this bit also. It is about creating more normal force also. Do you agree, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So here the static and kinetic friction are same.
There is no kinetic friction here at all because the man's feet were never sliding with respect to the ground. They were always at rest when it comes to the running process or the walking process. There was no sliding at all, right? Even though the man is running, that is an important point again, guys. Even though the man is running, the friction between the man and the man's feet and the ground is always a static friction because there was no sliding. Like look at this. This move, even though he pushed himself, he moved, but the point of contact didn't slide. As long as it did not slide, the friction is always constant. Good, Aniket.
Yes, sir.
Right, that is an important point that you should be remembering. After that question, I just wanted to discuss another model that comes in your exams, where there are blocks like this. He gives the mu values different. What do you do? Is there any magical process to this? Again, you simply take m1g cos theta, m2g cos theta, m1g sin theta. I'm sorry I wrote with red again. M2g sin theta. Since the weight components are there, once the weight components are over, we need to talk about frictions, normal force. There is friction 1, there is friction 2, there is normal force 1, there is normal force 2, and there is one more thing. There is a normal force in between these two also. There is N3 on this block and there is N3 on this block. You gotta consider all these forces when you write the accelerations. Okay, that is a question from H.C. Verma again. It is there here somewhere around here. Yeah, a similar question. So he's asking the calculate the acceleration of the blocks. If mu values are different, look at the things that he's saying. Different mu values. He's asking the accelerations of the blocks. Do you people think you can do it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can do
sir.
it, right? Yeah, thanks. After that, just look at this idea also. This is a beautiful idea too. Like, look at the question, just read the whole question. The friction coefficient between the board and the floor shown in the figure is mu. Find the maximum force that the man can exert on the rope so that the board does not slip. Now, forget about the question, just approach it as soon as you look at it, like write all the forces: tension, man, mg, block, small mg. There is one normal force, there is other normal force, and all the forces. So I'll just draw it on the blackboard again. Don't worry. He is clearly mentioned that the coefficient of friction between the board and the floor is mu. What about the man and the board? There is no friction at all. Okay. So he says there is a board and a man. I'm just not drawing the ground. Okay. We just don't need that at this point.
So
There is
tension should be greater than that nu into normal force.
exactly this friction. It should be greater than this friction, but this friction is mu into n. But this n is not just mg, because there is some weight of him is also acting on that. And there is normal force n1, man n1. Shall I draw each and every body separately then?
Yes, sir.
I'll
Yes,
do
sir.
that. Okay. Why get clumsy with all the forces? I'll just draw a smaller man so that he fits there. That his mass is capital Mg, and there is N1 acting on him. There is N1 acting on the block, and there is N2 and N2 on the ground, and there is tension on him also. So there is tension on the block also. All the forces are mentioned. Did I forget any force? There is no friction between the man and the block. He didn't mention anything. There is only friction between this thing. So if the block has to slip, this tension must exceed this value. This is nothing but mu n2. This friction is nothing but mu n2. How much is n2? That is something that you need to find out. I'm going to write these forces: mg downwards, n downwards, n1 downwards, n2 is upwards. mg plus n1 equals to n2. mg plus n1 equals to n2. So you have to write the mu n2 value. Mu into n2 equals to mu into mg plus n1. But how do you find n1? That is an important thing. Look at this thing. mg is downwards, n1 and t is upwards, n1 plus t. So n1 comes as mg minus t is n1. I am going to put the same thing here. Mu into n2 equals to mu into mg plus n1. That n1 is nothing but mu into mg plus this n1 is nothing but capital Mg minus t mu n2. No, this mu n2 must be equal to t, right? Tension. So I'm going to equate tension. You get the point. This friction is not equal to tension, so that the block starts slipping. Tension equal to mu mg plus capital Mg minus t. Solve this equation, find the value of tension. That's it. That is what he's asking. Okay, in that problem. Once you get that, you'll understand the whole person. Okay. Are you done with that? No. Yeah, we are done with that idea. That brings us to a very beautiful question up next. Multiple block problems. This is a very difficult case, guys. Please be careful here while we are discussing this question. I am going to give you a method. Please be really careful at this thing. Okay. All right. Let's just look at this whole thing. So they say the ground is smooth, so that we can solve the problem easily. Just wait for a second. Okay. The administration is calling. Hello. ఈరోజు అది యూట్యూబ్ లైవ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. 11:30 క్లాస్ అప్లోడ్ చేస్తా అని చెప్పి స్టార్ట్ కాదు, క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయింది, అది లైవ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. సో నేను 11:30 డైరెక్ట్గా అప్లోడ్ చేస్తా క్లాస్. రైట్, అందరు అలా చెప్పాను. ఓకే, as expected, right? So smooth, and there is one block, there is a smaller block, and the force is applied on this block. Remember when there was no friction, what happened in that simulator? You remember that bit? That upper block is just stood there and the lower block simply left. Is that isn't that what we've seen there? But what if there is friction there? What happens now, Raghav?
Sir, what if there's friction, sir?
Yeah, what if there is friction between the both the blocks? What happens now?
Sir, this smaller blocks moves along the right side for some time. and-
Yeah, so like, does it actually move along with the bigger block or with the different acceleration?
If friction is greater, it will move with the bigger block, sir.
Oh, so how do you decide whether the friction is greater or not?
So friction is greater than this force into M.
Okay, you actually made sense. Did you know that? Let's just check. I'm just going to give you a very simpler case, okay? Just with all the numerical values. 4 kg block, 2 kg block, mu equals to 0.3. This is mu smooth, mu equal to 0. Okay, and I put a force of 10 newtons, let us say. Now my question is whether would they move parallelly, like would they move combinedly or separately? That is the thing. No. First of all, guys, let's just draw a free body diagram and look at all the forces. 10 kg, friction, friction. Do you agree with the forces? Because the friction tries to stop the lower block, tries to support the upper block. Do you agree? Preetika, do you agree with this thing?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, so who is actually making the upper block move? The only source, the only hope for the upper block is friction only. Right? Now, what is the maximum value of friction? What is the maximum value? Mu into mg, right? 0.3 into mg is mu into n, Nizaniki. Mu into n, which is nothing but mu into 2g, which is 20 into 6 newtons. So your only hope is this friction, and that friction is also limited itself to 6 newtons, which means the only hope that you have is 6 newtons. So 6 newtons equal to mass 2 kg into acceleration. So acceleration is 3 meter per second square. Wait a second, wait until I actually confirm something to you. The only hope for the upper block is friction, which has a limit of 6 newtons. So which is limiting the maximum acceleration that it can go to 3 meter per second only. The maximum acceleration that it can go is 3 meter per second only. That is the first thing that you should consider, okay? When you're looking at multiple block problems, the first thing that you should look at is there's always some another block, okay? It doesn't really have any other hope. Friction is the only hope for that, right? So for that specific block, you need to check what is the maximum friction, and you need to check what is the maximum acceleration that it can go with. It cannot, no, in any case, it cannot go with an acceleration more than that. That is the first thing that you need. So I checked that this can, in best case, can move with an acceleration of 3 meter per second square. That is the first step. You know what the second step is? In the second step, I will simply consider that they are combinedly moving. I'm just making a guess there that they are combinedly moving. So combinedly, the total mass is 6 kg. The force acting on it is 10 newtons. So 10 newtons equals to total mass is 6 kg. So that gets us what? 10 by 6, which is 5 by 3. Something's around
6, sir.
1.6, right? Is it greater
1.6 bar.
than 1.6, and it goes on, right? Now, is it greater than the maximum acceleration?
No, sir.
No,
So it
sir.
will happily go with this acceleration only. Yes, they are. I just made an assumption that they are combinedly moving. And turns out the acceleration is 1.6. Of course, upper block can go with 1.6 acceleration, definitely. And look at the case. I am applying. Guys, follow the whole method. I am applying just for fun a force around 20 newtons.
It will go back, sir.
No, it won't go back.
80 newtons maximum you can apply, sir.
Exactly. So in this case, 20 newtons are applied. Let us consider they're combinedly moving a 6 kg block. 20 newtons. What is the acceleration? 20 by 6. It comes as 3 point something. Now the upper block in any case does not go with an acceleration more than 3. So what happens is they will move separately. We'll just have to consider that this assumption is wrong. This assumption is wrong. Now we are considering that the assumption is wrong, and we say 2 kg, 4 kg, and they're accelerating separately only. So I write 20 newtons friction. I'm just want to draw this thing separately. So this acceleration is a1. This acceleration is 3 meter per second. Since I know this acceleration is 3, we don't know this acceleration. So if you want to find the acceleration, you write 20 minus f equals to 4 into a. Here f equals to 2 into 3. 2 into 3. From that you can find f value. You put it there. F is nothing but 6, right? So 20 minus 6 equal to 4a. A equals to 14 by 4. You found the other acceleration also. All you have to do is, first of all, check whether the block, like what is the maximum acceleration the block can go with. And in every case, we just assume that they're going combinedly. Check the acceleration. If the acceleration is more than the maximum possible acceleration, of course, they're going separately. If it is less than, they're going combinedly. Are you going to try a question on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, fine. It's fine. Even if you can't answer this thing, it's totally fine. This is a very difficult question. Even second years who are going out find it difficult sometimes. So don't worry if you can't solve it. It's totally fine. 5 kg, 3 kg, mu equals to 0.2. All right. I'm putting 10 newtons, 16 newtons.
That is simple, sir.
That is simple only. Just give it a try. Like, okay, fine. I'm putting F. I'll give you different cases. Where first case, F equals to 8 newtons, F equals to 16 newtons, F equals to 24 newtons. Try all the cases. I want accelerations in all the cases. They take a minute and try. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to give you a minute there. Go ahead and try it on your paper.
So done. So here we can just find the maximum value for
What's
F.
the maximum acceleration?
16, sir. For F maximum value.
Somebody asked me to scroll up. Raghav, which part do you want?
So no, sir. Just scroll down a little bit.
Here?
Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir.
Aniket, you were saying something.
Yes, sir. I was saying that we just have to find the maximum value of F. Then whatever is lower, it will go upper. It will go back.
It won't. Don't say it won't. It will go back. Just say that they will go with separate accelerations. That's all. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Don't ever say that.
Maximum value is 16 newtons, sir.
16. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
1.6, not 16.
Guys,
Isn't
check.
Isn't it
Newtons.
supposed to be 1.6 newtons? For the
Guys,
first
check
case.
there seems to be a confusion in between you people. Just check it.
No, sir. 16 only.
Okay.
The friction on the block, the smaller block should be mass of the block into acceleration, right? And the
Okay. And
No, sir. It should be mg into nu.
why should it be G? It's G will be acting downwards, right?
So she's getting all wrong.
Don't worry, I'll
I'm
explain.
confused.
I'll confuse. I don't get confused. I'll explain it. Don't worry. Let other people also try, and I'll explain. Array, why is this simulator making me cry? Anyway, I tried to build that thing on a simulator. I couldn't because there are some issues again. Now check. First of all, what is the maximum friction acting on it? 0.2 into 3g, 30. So how much is it?
6.
What?
Not
Six.
6, 1 second.
Yeah, it is 6 newtons. So the maximum acceleration that it can go, 6 equals to 3 into a. So it can maximum go with an acceleration of 2 meter per second square. Did you get this thing first of all?
Yes, sir.
Pritika, did you get this part or you failed at this part?
Got it, sir.
Yeah, so the maximum acceleration the upper block can go with is 2 meter per second square. Now leave that out. Let us combinedly consider them as an 8 kg block, put 8 newtons. So 8 newtons equals to 8 into a, acceleration is coming as 1 meter per second square. Can the upper block go with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square? Of course it can go. So they will definitely move combinedly. And even in this case, someone asks you the friction, what do? You put 8 newtons, you put friction. Acceleration of this block is 1 meter per second square. Acceleration of the upper block is also 1 meter per second square. So 8 minus F equals to what were the masses? Sorry, 5 and 3, right? 5 and 3. 8 minus F equals to 5 into acceleration 1. For the upper block, F equals to 3 into acceleration 1. You solve these equations, you can find the friction also. That is the problem number 1. I'm looking at problem number 2. Again, let's just consider this whole thing as a single block. Put the force. How much is the second force? 16 newtons. 16 equals to 8 into a. Acceleration is coming as 2 meters per second. Can it go with this acceleration? What was the case? Of course, it can go with this acceleration because
Yes,
it is 2 meters per second. So they are still going combinedly. And someone asks you the friction, you put 16, you put friction, 5 kg, 3 kg. The accelerations are 2 meter per second square. Acceleration is 2 meter per second square. You solve the whole thing. That is problem number 2. Problem number 3. This is where the interesting bit starts, right? Let us just imagine they are combinedly moving. I put 24 newtons in the third problem, right? Did I? Yeah, I put 24 newtons only. So I am going to use that. So 24 equals to 8 into a, acceleration equal to 3 meter per second square. Now, can it go with 3 meter per second square?
No.
No. So this is a wrong assumption. So that is why we need to consider. It is totally fine to assume things. 24 F. We don't know the acceleration of this block, but we know the acceleration of this block. That is the maximum value already, which is nothing but the 2 meter per second square. Write those equations. 24 minus F equal to, this is 5 kg, this is 3 kg. 24 minus F equal to 5 into A. F equal to 3 into A, which is nothing but 2 meter per second square. Just find these equations, you can find the friction and acceleration. Pritika, do you get it now?
I have one small doubt, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Why do we have to write these equations? We can directly say, right? For the friction.
Okay, fine. Okay. Raghav, sorry, Aniket can directly say, right? So I'm going to give him a question like all the time.
Not that, sir, in this one.
I agree, but I'm just giving you a basic classical method. That's all. You don't really need to write those equations. I can give you, like, give me any values, I will give you the answers right away. Since I have done enough questions on this thing, I've done enough questions on this thing. I know how to deal with these things, but not everyone does. So it's fine to go with the classical method. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. The next thing that I'm looking at is, so in HC Verma, there is a question where they have 3 blocks. Okay. Now, once you're good with the 2 blocks problems, only after that I discuss the 3 block problems. I will not discuss the 3 block problems directly. Okay, that will not happen in any case. All right. What day is it today? It's Thursday, right? So we'll
Day 3,
see.
sir.
We'll see if you bring more problems for tomorrow. I will take another class tomorrow also on friction. Okay. We can discuss the short answer questions tomorrow itself. All right. Since it's almost 11:30 and I have to upload the class, I will wrap this up. Not much. So I want you to try the 2 block problems first, and then after that I will discuss the 3 block problems. Otherwise, I won't discuss the 3 block problems. In HC Verma, there is a question on 3 block problems. Wait, I'll show. This gets really difficult. It's not an easy question, I'm telling you. But keep your hopes up. It will be solved. But using your classical style, your as long as your method is right, you can happily solve it. Remember
Sir,
this
can you
question?
once show that 3 block problem?
Sir, can
once?
we take it as homework?
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Sir, it's
I'd be
given as
really surprised if
0.0.
you. I'd be really
One of-
surprised if what?
New 3 is given as 0.0 there. So
Yeah.
it
So
means
the ground is smooth. That's what he's saying. The ground is smooth, but there is friction between the 2 blocks, like 2 and 3 and 3 and 7. There is friction between those 2 things. So yeah, Aniket, if you can solve this question as homework, I would be like more than glad. I'm really glad.
I will, sir. Yesterday also I did.
Oh, fine. Let's see. This question is also a good question, guys. Like there is friction between these 2 blocks. Try to solve this thing because this block is trying to go this way. This block is trying to go this way, and there is friction opposing both the things. This is a good question. You try it later. Look at this question. This was a diagram I was trying to draw previously, but I miserably failed. But anyway, he's asking the normal force. He's asking the friction and all. Yeah. You go ahead and try these questions today. Look, go ahead and try more questions from HC Verma, please. Okay, not just this. I'm asking you to try all the questions today. Starting from the short answer questions, go through them once. We will discuss them tomorrow. The short answer questions, objective 1, objective 2, and the exercises also. Like go ahead and discuss them. Otherwise, I can't really discuss anything. Now, I want to wrap up this topic, like today's class, using one more important thing. There is a thing called rolling friction. There is a thing called rolling friction.
In cycles, sir.
Guys, please don't get wrong ideas about rolling friction. People say the rolling friction is really less and things like that. Please don't get the wrong ideas on rolling friction. Rolling, there are 2 types of friction. There is static friction and there is kinetic friction. It's not a new type of a friction. Okay, first of all, rolling friction is nothing but either it's a static friction, either it's a kinetic friction. It's not a new type of a friction. People say like whenever you're trying to slide a block, it is difficult. But whenever you're trying to slide the block using by wheels, it gets easier. It gets easier, but the friction doesn't decrease. Let me tell you that the friction is not decreased here. It's not because the friction is decreased. It's a whole different concept again. It gets easier for sure, but it is not because the friction has decreased. People say the rolling friction is less and things like that. No, there is static friction between the wheels and the ground, definitely for sure. The normal force hasn't changed. The mu value hasn't changed. The friction is still the same value. But I will explain this thing later. Okay, please don't get the wrong idea about this thing. Okay, yeah, it gets really easy, but there's a whole different reason for that. Why it gets easy and all, it's a whole different thing. So I will discuss that later. All right. So yeah, these are the ideas that I want to discuss. I wanted to complete the short answer questions also, but you people didn't practice any questions, so I can't really go ahead and discuss. Friction is irreplaceable, irrespective of mass, right? Exactly. Friction is friction is depending on mass, right? Because mu n is depending on mg, right? So that is why friction is depending on weight, but the mu value is not depending on mass. The value of mu is not depending on the mass. Okay, value of mu completely depends on the types of surfaces, Raghav. Okay. Yeah, so that is it, guys, for today. I wanted to complete this thing, but since you haven't practiced, I'm seriously asking you to try some problems from HC Verma today. Objective 1, objective 2. Are you going to make me a promise? No, you're not. Pritika,
Yes.
Yes, sir. I'm
give me a
taking
word
it.
that you're complete. Harshita,
Sir,
you're sleeping in the class, aren't you?
no, sir.
Why are you so calm these days? So please
No.
go ahead and do some problems today and post some questions today so that I will discuss not just from HC Verma. If you find any questions from other books also, go ahead and practice. I will discuss those questions along with the short answers questions tomorrow. All right.
Okay, sir.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much for
Thank
another
you, sir.
great session. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much, and we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you.